Hello again everybody, and I'm going to put this in the playlist that I call Paul's Rants, and this will be entitled Paul's Rant as well, but it's not actually a rant, this one, but it's something that popped into my head, and it's really just an observation, and this could possibly spark various opinions, I suppose, but I'll give it a go. And there's various different ways that you could possibly look at this, but this is one way, I suppose, and I'm going to give it a go. And what I'm going to talk about is classic motorbikes and the manuals that were printed for them, and actually a lot of people don't use, because you always seem to get people sort of asking on a forum or Facebook group or whatever, what oil should I put in my this, what spark plug should I put in my that. It's all there for you in the manual. But anyway, I'm not really going down the ranting route with this one, but it made me think. I've got a few manuals, obviously I've got lots of manuals here which I rely on, and obviously I'm not too big to have a read of them when I'm working on a certain machine, and they've got lots of valuable information in them. But there's something else that a manual might possibly be able to tell you about a certain model of machine, or a certain example of a particular model of machine. For instance, supposing you go to look at a machine that's for sale perhaps, and this might sort of be useful to some. When you go and have a look at a machine for sale, hopefully you get presented with all sorts of folders of bits of paperwork, the bike's history and so on, and hopefully among that lot there might be a manual. Now, I've got some manuals here of my own, and admittedly they're all getting on a bit. None of them are new, some are older than others, but by and large, whenever I've worked on a machine and I've wanted to refer to a manual, these are the ones that I've used. So make of this what you will. First up, now this involves the condition of the manuals. This is the point I'm trying to make, and what a well-thumbed, dirty, falling to bits manual might tell you about a certain machine compared with other far more presentable manuals. Now, these aren't manuals that I keep on a bookshelf in the house, these are the ones I keep in the workshop. First up, the Triumph Tiger Cub. Now, I've owned and loved lots of these machines since I was just shy of 13 years old, so that is 46 years actually. 46 years ago I bought my little 16-inch wheeled Tiger Cub, the metallic blue one, and obviously I've got the original Triumph factory manual. I've got a few original Triumph factory manuals, but this is usually my go-to book if I want to grab one off the shelf and sort of look at any settings or whatever, because I don't know them all off by heart. And there's my Triumph Tiger Cub manual, very clean condition. I've got at the moment a total of about 8 Tiger Cubs. 3 of them are actually on the road. Triumph Tiger Cub manual hasn't been used very often, has it? So that's the first one. Here we've got a manual for the 350 and 500 Redditch Royal Enfield Bullets. That's a nice original piece of work, and it's in very, very good condition as well, actually. So although to be fair, I do know a lot of what I'm doing with the bullets pretty much off by heart. There's a rather grubby page or two there, the technical data and the exploded view of the engine. That's about the dirtiest 2 pages in that book. The Royal Enfield Electra X. Now, this book was presented to me by Alan Hitchcock of Hitchcock's Motorcycles when I was working on the tuning of an Electra X for them. Well thumbed, loose pages, quite grubby. So I've been a bit busier with that one, and I've worked on a few Electra X machines. Royal Enfield 250 unit singles. We're getting dirtier now. Still in pretty good condition with a few grubby pages, but it's got a much more sort of used look about it than what we've seen so far. Next up, bear in mind I've actually owned 3 of these, and I've got that one there is the one I got first the day I passed my test when I was 18. Trident, fantastic bikes, and I've owned 3 and I've worked on quite a few more of them and the variants, the Rocket 3s, even one Hurricane. Again, quite well used, got a few of my own notes in the back of it there about my bike, mainly this one of course, because the other 2 I didn't keep for very long, either of them. A few receipts from Norman Hyde. Grubby pages, top end work, and they're escaping. Okay, so they're the most well thumbed pages of that book. All the others are fairly clean. Moving on, next we go from Triumph Triples to Triumph Twins, and this is my workshop go-to book for them. Now, I was given this book in fairly sort of well used and grubby condition, but it hasn't got any cleaner since it's been in my hands. And again, there's certain pages that look more well used than others, particularly things referring to torque wrench settings and valve clearances, things like that, you know, the general sort of specifications, information and so on. But by and large, it's a very old manual, this, and I've worked on a good few Triumph Twins, but that tells me really that either I've got on with the work on them quite easily and unimpeded, or perhaps none of them have really been that seriously sort of unwell. Which brings me to, here's the jewel in the crown. Can you tell what that is? That is a BSA A65. Now, I like them, I own one. I've worked on about 20 of them, maybe more to date, mostly engine work and a good few full rebuilds among them. And again, the book itself is not too grubby, but it is falling to bits because I've thumbed and thumbed and thumbed through that. Every time I work on a BSA A65 engine, this book comes out and I look at it and it is well worn. So hopefully we've seen them in the order of least worn to most worn, and right at the bottom of the pile, the most worn of the lot, the BSA A65. So that doesn't necessarily have to tell us that the BSA A65 is a bad bike, although there's lots of people that would tell you that. Maybe there's just more of them about than all the others, but I don't think so. I would say that the Triumph Twins are probably more common, and not so sure about the triples all in all. Quite a few of them about when you count up all the T150s, T160s, Rocket 3s and everything all together. The Royal Enfield Electra X, that was only made for about 4 or 5 years. Not too many of them around actually, but a fair few have come in here to be worked on. Make of that what you will. And perhaps more reliable and robust, the old Redditch Bullets. At top of the pile, the cleanest, tidiest workshop manual, the good old Triumph Tiger Cub. Now, I'm quite happy to see other people's comments and remarks, and it's just a bit of fun. And but like I say, if you're going to look at a bike and you're thinking of buying one and you get offered any paperwork to look at or whatever, just have a look if there's a manual and check and see how grubby it is. Maybe the guy might have a brand new one that he's just kept in the house, but chances are a grubby manual might just tell you that someone's been quite busy with the bike that you're looking at and thinking of buying. possibly. Anyway, that's sort of brings me to the end of what I wanted to say, and anyone looking at and looking for old bikes and clues as to what sort of condition they might be in, this might just be of some use to someone. So, thanks for watching.